games. DeAndre Jordan will be on a little bit later, but first, Detroit basketball. Woo! First playoff win in 17 years. Yeah, there you go. They blew the lead in game one. We can talk about that in a second, but they went ahead and stole home court last night. Lou, I'll start with you on the end there. How impressed were you with them, especially in crunch time?
Really impressed. I like the way that they responded from game one to game two. You know, they're going back to Detroit with home court advantage, but they can make a case and feel like they let game one get away. Like, they had a great opportunity to leave Madison Square Garden up 2-0 going into their home court, but they responded. Game two was a big-time response. No Isaiah Stewart, but the physicality was still there. They were the more aggressive basketball team, and then let's start in the fourth quarter. You got to shine a light on Dennis Schroeder, right? Like, he was one of the guys that made a difference. They found something in him in guarding Jalen Brunson. Like, Brunson did have 37, but he made them work. You know, 10 of those were off free throws. And so out of that, 9 of those were off of free throws. So you got 28 points left that he got in 27 shots. That's making the guy work. That's making him earn everything that he gets. And then on the other end of the floor, you go out and get 20 points, making him guard on the other end of the floor, and then hitting a big-time three-pointer under a minute left to kind of seal the deal for this team. So going back home, Detroit has a bunch of confidence. They feel like this is an opportunity for them to steal a couple of games while they're on their home court and go back to Madison Square Garden and possibly close this thing out. Now, I know I'm jumping the gun. It's still going to be a very long series, but confidence-wise, that's how they should feel going into Detroit.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think the Pistons right now think that they should be up 2-0, and the Knicks are lucky to not be down 0-2. And I think last night I kind of had that feeling like, here we go again down the stretch. They're kind of making some bad decisions, turning the ball over again, some bad shots at the basket, but Cade Cunningham was great. He responded with a subpar game one, to an unbelievable game two. And to touch on what Lou said, Dennis Schroeder, I mean, this is his third team this year. And the fact that he's got JB Bickerstaff's trust with the ball in his hands on the road at MSG in the playoffs is huge for him. That three was big time for him. He knocks down one of the 2 free throws and kind of seals the game for them. And the Knicks are in trouble, man. The Pistons were 6 of 27 from three, 22%, and still find a way to win this game just on defense and physicality and everything they do. They're in trouble, and this is why I think the Knicks were trying to duck them at the end of the year, and this is why the Pistons wanted the Knicks. Like, it should be 2-0 going back to Detroit, which is crazy to think.
So, Boogie, we mentioned the fact no Isaiah Stewart last night, which you would think then maybe the game would be less physical, but that was not the case, and this was a huge win. So was this the recipe? Did they figure something out to take care of New York?
Well, one, this is their identity, so regardless if Isaiah Stewart's in the lineup or not, I think you're going to get the same results. But they absolutely know that the weakness for the Knicks is their toughness, and they're taking full advantage of it. And this Pistons team reminds me of that grit and grind Memphis team, where you know, it may be a night where they're not making a lot of shots or the offense isn't flowing as well. So they rely on their physicality, they rely on their toughness, and they rely on their will to win. And that's exactly what this Pistons team continues to show. And I'm a little worried for the Knicks, where this Piston team, I spoke on it the last time we spoke on them, where, you know, they don't have, when it comes to their superstars, they don't have that necessary, you know, experience when it comes to the playoffs and things. But where they lack in that area, they come with toughness, grit, grind, all of those things, and it's showing. So this Knicks team definitely looks to be in trouble some. It's unacceptable when it comes to Cat and the talent that he has, and, you know, the results we got with his
we'll
stats.
Get to that. That's
obviously we
thing.
will, but I mean, that toughness is definitely wearing and tearing on this Knicks.
I want to spin the block on Dennis Schroeder, right? Like Chandler just said, third team this year, right? But situation is everything. Like, you finally find a home. Like, this matches his identity. Like, he's a tough competitor, somebody that you don't want to be on the other end of the ball with when he's guarding you, when he's making things tough for you. Like, this is the perfect place for Dennis Schroeder to be. So to see him have the impact that he had off the bench for Detroit, it's a sight to see. And now they found something. Now they know that we can go to our bench. We can go to our 7th, our 8th guy in the bench and get good quality minutes out of him and kind of take the pressure off of Malik Beasley if he's going to continue to make shots like that. Like, that is a major plus for the Detroit Pistons coming up in this series. And like we said, if New York's not going to match their physicality, they're not going to match their toughness, we can see our first upset of the playoffs.
Let's talk a little Cade Cunningham. Boogie, I'll start with you on this one, because he and Jokic were the only 2 guys that averaged 25 and 9 over the course of the season. And perhaps a lot of people are still familiarizing themselves with Cade Cunningham, especially last night. Where are you putting him? I know we love lists. Are we doing top 10 in the league yet? Is he close? Where is he?
If he's not top 10, he's top 15.
Okay.
I mean, I believe after this playoff run, he will be a household name. He's deserving of it. His talent is through the roof. His poise is something you don't see in a young player at this stage in his career. I mean, it's almost, he's an old spirit. I mean, growing up where I'm from, usually you get that label as an old spirit when you're a young gun and you carry yourself the way Cade does. So he's an old spirit. He has a veteran savvy to him, and it's so early in his career, and it doesn't really make sense at this point. But I mean, he's showing it. He's producing. He's leading his team at a young age. I mean, he's definitely top 15.
Yeah, I don't know what list, but he's going to be All-NBA, right? So he's and I think he's probably going to be second team, and he could argue he could be first team. Like with what he's done, the turnaround that this team has had, and it is all on his back. And look, there's no other All-Stars. There's no other All-NBA player. Malik Beasley's had a great year. Jaden Ivey was having a great year until he went down. But this is what I love about this team and JB Bickerstaff and this culture and the identity that they're bringing back to Detroit. It's, look at these two teams on paper. The Knicks are so much more talented, highly paid. Like they're going to have 2 All-NBA guys probably with Cat and Jalen Brunson, 2 All-Stars. This is Cade Cunningham and a bunch of role players that know their role, that play hard, and it just shows you that we don't have to overpay these guys. We don't need a big 3 because we're going to develop a culture and identity, and we're going to play harder than you and more physical than you, and we're going to be able to compete. Now, are they a contender? Probably not, but they are on the right path, and they're going to create something there that people want to be a part of. And I think that's a huge thing because you don't need, we always talk about these lists and these big 3s and this player and that player. They got one guy, and then got a bunch of guys that know their roles and mastered it and play hard. It's crazy that still matters, and I'm just glad to see it in this series.
What I love about Cade Cunningham, like Boogie just alluded to, like he's a throwback to me. Like he's a young guy that plays in the mid-range, and that's a lost art in our game. Like the mid-range is one of the things that we've abandoned, but Cade Cunningham, he still uses his size and his ability to get to his spots, 15 to 18 feet away from the basket, bump you. He got fadeaways, he can finish at the rim. He got the whole package inside of the three-point line, and he used it to his advantage last night. Like, first, game 1, it looked like he had some jitters, and Madison Square Garden is a hell of a place to start your playoff career. It's a hell of a place to start your playoff career. But once you shake that off and you realize, like it's a high that you're chasing. Like, okay, this is an opportunity for me to be on a worldwide stage. So to see him respond from game 1 to game 2 was great to see.
You said he's the only other player besides Jokic averaging over 25 and 9. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yep,
like,
I know, it's almost like he was supposed to always be great, and so the improvement there is not exactly what we're looking at.
That's what I'm talking about.
I can do this argument every day with Chandler, every single day. So Malik Beasley is their second best player, and I don't know if we want to look ahead to what Detroit can be in the future. Do you need another superstar with Cade? And if you do, who would be in a perfect world ideal?
You absolutely.
I don't think so.
You don't?
Go ahead, Boogie.
You absolutely need a. We're talking about to win a championship, or
does OKC have 2 superstars?
Yes.
Oh, here we go.
Yes.
2 superstars?
Yes.
With Chet.
Damn near 3.
Superstars?
I think
Yes.
How many All-Star appearances he got?
Hey, all that's on the way. All that's on the way.
Let's talk about it.
We're talking about a young team full of potential that's
full
a
of
champion.
potential, not superstars.
They still have 2 All-Stars.
They're young. They're young in their career.
And they have the MVP.
Yes, they absolutely have 2 superstars.
All-stars, superstars, completely different.
It's like models and supermodels.
We were definitely talking about Malik Beasley.
Cade Cunningham.
Y'all said it. Y'all said the point was, does he need another superstar? And I said no.
To win a championship?
I think he does.
Is there there's 2 superstars in OKC?
Yeah, Jalen Williams.
Yes.
Jalen Williams
There's an All-Star, but listen.
He will be a superstar in the NBA.
Will be a superstar.
He's like 22.
Is he a superstar now?
Potentially,
he's about as close as he can be. With
Are they a
the
title
point-
contending team?
Correct.
So yes, he's a superstar.
Potentially.
So if you're contending, so if Detroit legit was contending right now, would anybody else be a superstar on this Pistons team?
Yeah, we would have to figure it out, though.
We have to figure out who gets the title.
No, but I think that's the beauty of what they're doing is that, of course, they made progress. Let's add 14 wins, and a lot of these guys are new pieces, but just the progress alone is great. Now, I'm with Boogie. I think, do they need to add something special? Do they need to add a couple guys here and there to really make that leap to contend with the Boston Celtics and the Cavs? For sure. They're going to win a couple games. They're going to play hard. They're going to do the right things, but I don't think you can win a championship with Malik Beasley, your second best player. Exactly. I don't think you can do that. I think it's going to be hard. The league is too good. There's too much talent. That's not a knock on Malik Beasley. I think
that's not what I'm fighting. But go ahead.
Do you guys agree that
what I'm fighting is Malik Beasley is second best player, but when we're talking about superstars, right? Do they need help? Do they need a different nucleus than they have now? Absolutely, for them to contend for a title. But sometimes when you have the right pieces, less is more sometimes. Less is more.
So you mean to tell me this Detroit Pistons team can?
That's not what I said. That's not what I said.
Who would you? Okay, then who would you?
What
have?
I'm saying, listen, you could.
That's
if
where
they had Zion Williamson, they're a different team.
100%.
Sure.
They're a totally different team.
Contending?
Even better than what they are right now. You replace Zion Williamson with Tobias Harris.
Is gonna be,
that's a totally different team.
Yes, absolutely. But is it a necessity? Like you can put another. I don't want to say another Tobias Harris around him, but you can put pieces around him, and it takes them from a 6 to a 3 overnight by a few games.
Yeah, Zion Williamson.
I agree, but that's
who's a superstar.
I would agree with you there for Zion Williamson, that one particular person. But I don't feel like that's the necessary route for every team that you have to add a superstar to be a.
You put Devin Booker on this team.
Changes the trajectory. I agree with you when you add superstars. Is that a necessity, though, for the Detroit Pistons?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm disagreeing because, again, we're seeing a blueprint of a team. You create superstars. OKC is creating superstars. They're not going out and getting these guys. They are creating them in-house.
I agree.
So
Jalen Williams.
Yeah, I don't think they have a Jalen Williams on this roster.
So you don't
have a Chet on this roster.
They don't have any of that on this roster.
You was the biggest Durant fan in the world.
No, I love him, but I don't.
But he's not Chet Holmgren.
Yeah, I don't think he's.
It's not even close. He's great at what he does. He's a tough big man that rebounds, blocks shots,
with no potential.
He's a starting center in the NBA for sure.
If we flip flop Detroit right now to a 3 seed right now, two of those guys wouldn't be all stars. Malik Beasley wouldn't be an all star.
I can't do hypotheticals, man.
What are you talking about? We just did a whole.
Go ahead.
He's drawing the line now. Okay, Knicks fans, cover your ears because this is the part of the conversation you're not going to like. Jalen Brunson. Obviously a great player. Obviously everything New York has wanted. They love him to death. But the foul baiting and the flopping, Chandler, I know that the murmurs have gotten louder and louder. What do you make of it?
It's a lot. Listen, it's a lot. Me and Boogie were talking about this. He plays so many minutes too. We see it all game long because the guy doesn't come out of the game. And again, a lot of great scorers do this. Look across the league. James Harden back in the day, SGA, Jimmy Butler, Joel Embiid does this a lot. Luka, a lot of these guys. It's part of the game. It's part of their philosophy is to get to the whistle, get to the free throw, get to the line, get to easy buckets. I feel like he's got to have a little bit more of a balance because he's also doing it so much where he's going to get hard to officiate. Like he's got how do you determine what's real, what's not? And
exactly.
When you review half of these foul calls, if the other team reviews them, they're not fouls. They're almost offensive fouls the way he throws his body into the defense. So. Again, a lot of people are doing it now. SGA does it. He's going to win MVP, and he gets 10, 12, 14 free throws a game. So you can't really knock it. It is a skill, but when you play so many minutes and we keep seeing it over and over again.
Could there be a limit?
It's a lot. It's a lot. But again, it's also part of the game now, so you can't really knock them.
I agree with Chandler. It is a skill, but when I see this and I'm seeing how this series is going, to me, it's just showing that the defense is really bothering Jalen Brunson right now. And I feel like at this point in the series, he's more focused on selling the foul, trying to get these guys fouled out, than actually scoring the baskets or, changing the game in however way you can. And then also see the young fellas' response when they ask, is this a tough, defensive assignment? And the answer is a nonchalant.
Especially on a night like last night where Cat was...
So I could see this series, changing at this point. I could see Detroit, actually running off with this series with the way it's being played right now. But the way that he's performing and the way that, he's trying to sell these fouls, it's just showing me that the defense is really starting to bother him.
Getting under his skin.
I agree with Boogie, and I agree with Chandler on this one. The only reason I don't mind it so much is because he don't mind getting his hands dirty. He don't mind being physical. Now, when you play like that and you're initiating a lot of the contact, you might get caught out there and look crazy from time to time when that's your game. And so only because the fact that he likes contact and he doesn't mind playing through contact, I don't mind it as much. But when he doesn't get these fouls, it does look crazy on the film.
Yeah, it looks like nothing is easy, so I'm going to try so hard to get to the line because this is difficult all game long.
He's got like
it's hard not to see that.
He's all marked up, got a lot going on. Look, we do have to talk about Cat as well because that was a big part of last night. He finished this game with 10 points, 0 in the second half. Didn't even take a shot in the fourth quarter, Boogie. That is unacceptable.
Very unacceptable.
What do you make of that?
I look forward to this.
I mean, I think that it all goes back to the physicality of this series. Like I said, this Pistons team, it is a tough team. They rely on their physicality. They rely on their toughness. And this is something that's been talked about all season when it comes to this Knicks team. Everybody labeled them soft. And I think that's going to be the determining factor in this series. Either they can match, the physicality, overcome it, or they're going to crumble from it. And, last game I think they crumbled. This next game is going to determine a lot. It's now going back to Detroit. The energy's going to be there. Now you got to deal with that Detroit fan base, the toughness that they bring, and also still fight through that physicality. So there is going to be a turning point in this series, and I think next game determines that.
No matter how physical they are, he's got to be aggressive, right? He's got to attempt shots. He's too talented. He's too good at basketball to let physicality bother you at this point. In the playoffs, he expects that.
I don't want to be in this segment shitting on my little brother.
No, I know, but
excuse my language. I'm trying to avoid that part. I think Cade is so talented. He's one of the most talented big men to ever lace him up.
He didn't take a shot in the fourth quarter.
How does that happen? How does that happen?
The mindset has to change. He has to be that superstar that everybody knows he is, and he definitely has the ability to do so. But I think it starts with the mindset. You have the physical ability to do it. Just go out there and do it. You got to get comfortable with the uncomfortable, and that's the issue right now.
And I think the Knicks are okay with losing with him being aggressive.
Absolutely.
0 shots, 0 for 3 in the second half. No attempts in the fourth quarter is inexcusable. He's too good. He's another guy. He's going to be an All-NBA player. His best basketball should be right now when they need him the most. And 0 field goal attempts in the fourth quarter is nuts.
Can't get past that, Lou. The zero attempts is rough.
The ghost of Cade's pass.
Yeah.
We gotta get him back to bodega. We've gotten away from bodega Cade. We got to get him back tough. It's no way you're the 1A, 1B of the New York Knicks, and you don't demand the basketball. There should be times down the court where we should visibly see him telling them, "Give me the basketball," or bring it up the court, initiate the offense, like some of the transition threes that you like. To not get a shot off and to not have a presence in the fourth quarter is inexcusable. I'm sure that's going to be something that he has to clean up. But again, this is a series. If they're going to even have an opportunity to win this series, you can't run from the physicality of the Detroit Pistons. You can't run from it. Yeah.
Set the tone early. You
got to hit it head on. And so not having a field goal attempt is alarming in the fourth quarter. The great thing about series, you got another opportunity in a few days to get this thing right, but not having a field goal attempt in the fourth quarter, y'all might as well pack it up now if he's not going to do it.
Man, that tough stuff that they had last year doesn't feel like it's in the building anymore. It's very weird to watch this Knicks team versus last year at this time. Very odd. We had another game last night, also very